But on today's show, again, we got a Lyndon, New Jersey native, Street and Smith All-American, Reebok National Slam Dunk Champion, played college ball at Rutgers University, played pro ball in the USBL. And get this, he is not only a part of, but he is the originator of the original team of the N1 mixtape tour. You know what? I think he also writes books too. You know, I'm just saying, I think he writes books too. He's an entrepreneur and co-founder of Ball for Real and SKY Sky Streetball Syndicate, and he's the founder of the Black Top Streetball Foundation. I mean, he just got so much going on with his life. But we want to welcome to the show. We're going to give y'all his street name because today on the Hoop Dreams podcast, we got the one, the only, the main event. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Man. Blessings. Thank you for having me, man. Hey, man, I love that intro. Thank you.
Man, let me tell you something. First of all, I just got to put this out here. Agee and I, we both saw the N1 doc they put out, man, a while ago. And just to, like, I remember you guys coming to Chicago, going to UIC, doing y'all thing, man. Just, y'all took a generation of guys that probably would have never had an opportunity, man, to get to that next level. And y'all made superstars, man. So my first question, we typically ask a different question, but my first question is, man, you being a leader in that movement, man, how does that make you feel knowing that your history in the game of basketball is solidified, man? How does that make you feel?
It made me feel great, you know, especially when you're going through that time. You're not thinking about that. You just think about playing ball. You think about leaving it all on the court. So when you sit back at 50 years old and you're like, wow, you know, what we did on the court and was able to take around the world, and the emails and messages we be getting on and off the court, the way we was able to share the culture, it's almost an overwhelming feeling, because the feeling that going into the actual situation, you're not really looking for no feeling. You're just looking for people to say, yo, it was some guys here that was crazy. Like, well, that kid right there was crazy. Yo, he was dunking, he was doing everything, diving on the floor. So, you know, I just feel blessed. And I thank the Creator for using me in that way.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, listen, man, we're gonna get into all of that, but I want to start our show off this way, man. Take us back to Lyndon, New Jersey in the 80s, the 90s. What was it like growing up, man?
In the 80s and 90s, I tell people we all have similar stories with different music behind it. You know, that's the crack era, you know, the hustling era, and the guys looking out for the young ones that was playing ball, trying to do the positive thing. It wasn't too many outlets. Playing basketball at that time, going to your local neighborhood. Mine was 4-4 Park, in Lyndon, New Jersey. We call LNDO 7036, by way of Elizabeth, New Jersey. Scott, you know, had the best of both worlds. It was rough. We didn't have too many distractions, but it was human. It was real blue checks. You know, it was real followers. It was real likes, like right there in your face. And we had to choose. And if you didn't have guidance, we could have made different choices. For me, basketball became a safe haven. The parks became a safe haven. It was a way to escape whatever we was going through. Out there was no worrying about if we was going to eat at night. There was no listening to mom or pop or whoever, grandma, whoever arguing, or, you know, it wasn't, you just out there. And for me, it was a canvas where I displayed plenty of different art forms. Some was abstract, but it was a getaway for me.
Man. New Jersey, hey, they call that, is that Brick City?
Brick City is like one of our neighboring towns. Brick City is definitely thorough. I actually got my opportunity to play when I started playing basketball. My cousin Brian Crawford talked about my AAU days around that time, playing for North Rams. That's in Brick City. So Brick City is like New York, they say, or like Chicago, or like Detroit, the big cities. If you can make it in Brick City, you can make it anywhere. So I definitely got to salute Brick City for giving me some of those I tell people I'm an L&D rider, Eastwick soldier, and definitely Brick City helped me see a lot of things, especially in the 80s and 90s. I was able to witness a lot of things like New Jack City type things, you know?
I mean, and just in your background too, man. Brothers, sisters.
Yes, I have 6 sisters, 2 brothers. One was murdered. One was hit by a car down South Carolina. A vehicle was racing. He was trying to cross the street. I was real young when that happened. My brother was in a situation where someone who, I think it was someone who had to be with him to get that close to him to stab him in his jugular. You know, was he perfect? We not perfect. He was out doing his thing. You know, he was respected. So I know that it had to be someone who maybe he thought loved him. That's how I lost some of my sisters. Love them all. I'm from South Carolina, where John Morant, Ray Allen's from. So I have siblings in South Carolina and New Jersey. They all different. I love them all. And like I say, I wouldn't be who I am today without my sisters.
Man, our condolences goes out to your brother, man. Rest in peace for sure, man. And, you know, out of all them, did you all play sports? Like, who put that ball in your hand?
Oh man, that's an interesting story. When I was young, I played different sports. So my background, real quick, is my mom was a model, my dad was a boxer. So they never lived together. So in my upbringing in Elizabeth, New Jersey, it was straight up martial arts and boxing. That was my background. That was what, if I was going to go into anything, it would have been one of the two. At that time, it wasn't cool to be a model. You know what I mean? It wasn't no ads and nothing like that, none of that stuff. So my mom even tried, God bless her, my mom even tried to get me on a Gerber, like a Gerber baby. Remember that? It was like, well, this baby is too, like, he's just too big, you know, say like he can't be one of the pictures on the Gerber baby. It was like he's a baby. So being young, I played different sports. Shout out to my God rest her, my stepmom, Skeetsy, who was my father's wife at the time. She had me under her wing going, and she was into the education system. Security guard, very, very well respected. And I would go to the school with her, and she had me playing different sports, baseball, knock hockey, just being a kid, little basketball. And one thing about basketball was I had to learn how to play basketball. But in between learning how to play basketball, before that, I was just a regular kid going to the park to play free fall football, going up to the school 5 to play stickball. Just the average kid running around. I'm from what I think y'all was from as well. See, we from an era where that village, so I had to be home when the street lights come on. Not just only home, not just on the porch, but in the house. Remembering the commercials coming on, where's your child at?
Absolutely.
It's 10 o'clock. Remembering things like this is your brain on drugs. So this is all happening during these times. And I'm just a kid going from different parts, all day, not knowing, honing my skills. So when I was down South Carolina with my mom, like I said, my mom was from South Carolina and my father was from here. So I lived with her, and that's how I got a chance to become very good friends with Ray Allen. I met him in a summer school. My cousin was at Hillcrest at the time. My first job down there was picking cucumbers, 25 cents a bucket. So I'm getting the best of, as a kid, I'm getting the best of these different demographic things, cultural things, actually. Remembering the nights where, at the time, I didn't know, my mom used to go to bingo a lot. And she would give me my 8 quarters. I go play the Pac-Man and the different games they had. And some nights at the time, I'm not knowing what's going on. My sister's there with us, but some nights I would know as I look back, we had some better nights than others. I knew that she won. I played the game a little bit more, but we never missed the meal. We never missed the meal. So just being that kid, and the reason why I had to come back to New Jersey was my mom was in school more than I was. It was like she was going to school because I was getting in trouble. My father came down and picked me up, came to Jersey, introduced me to Jersey. I'm in Elizabeth. Now I go out for the team. Now living with my dad was totally different. Stand up, straight up, come from a family of 10, 5 brothers, 5 sisters, stern family, the Dixons. No nonsense, part of the Black Panther, straight up thorough, like straight up thorough, retired 32 years, a longshoreman. But between that, he had different lumber, he did that. So he was a hardworking man, but very, very well respected. Very well respected. So living with him was a little bit different. My school 20, God rest Miss Thelma, she heard, these are people I'm naming who played an integral part of my life. The school was right across the street from me. And my dad, before he get up, let's say school started at 8, he got me up at 6. I'm like, man, it's school right across the street, but I couldn't tell him that. I had the utmost respect for him. That's my hero. That's my God, So I'm like, wow. And I say these things to look back to, and I start understanding as I mature. So when I started taking basketball serious so in 6th grade, I wanted